Hello everybody and welcome back to the Toad Town Zoo and Aquarium. Today we are finally adding our Koopas, aka our Galapagos tortoises, into this area right over here. It's going to be situated right by the first train station that's in our zoo, and then kind of in between the next segment of our zoo and themed area that we're going to be creating in the future episodes. So with that, let's get started. And this exhibit is going to be heavily inspired by the backdrop blocks and stuff that Mario jumps around on. That way we get kind of a profile view and the typical platformer video game. It's kind of the theme that we're going with this exhibit. In this area of the park, I'm just kind of deeming the industrial side of the Toad Town, just because there's a lot more blocks, a lot less trees, and more of, this shape kind of just hanging around. So we're adding several different layers of variation with these blocks, copying the common colors that we see. So we have green ones, blue ones, pink ones, and yellow ones now. And we're hoping that when people enter the zoo, they look to the left and they see the big tower of these blocks, and it just looks visually appealing and kind of like blocks off the wasted space in our Planet Zoo map. And of course, I think I forgot to mention that the train will be running through these. It was an idea that came to me and I had to do it, so we did it. And now we're just adding a couple of the Mario style mountains to fill in the space and add to the backdrop. And I really want a waterfall right behind this section of train track, and just kind of a lake for the Galapagos tortoises to hang around. So here we are, we're just carving out a section for a waterfall to kind of be at. I use the glass to kind of give more body to the water that's falling in our waterfall. So the water just looks more thick and it looks a little more realistic, in my opinion. So yeah, just a little waterfall tip if you want to try to replicate that. And now we're going to fill in our water and make sort of a beachy lake for our little Koopa Galapagos tortoises. And then we're adding our splash effect, and then adding another midsection just because our waterfall is a little too high. And then of course adding some rocks kind of makes it look a little less cheesy down at the bottom of a waterfall. And then here I go a little bit overboard with the rocks, just kind of going all the way up the Mario style mountain, but it makes it look a little more realistic and natural. And eventually I do want to go through and add kind of some mine shaft looking things for all of our hills and stuff that we have the train track running through. I just haven't quite decided on the design I want to do for that yet. So here you can see the full area that we're going to be allowing our Galapagos tortoises to walk around in. And this exhibit is going to be mostly fenced in, but there will be this little path that kind of dips down this hill right here where the tortoises will be able to walk around and interact with the guests a little bit. And as for the explanation of why they stick to that area, we're just gonna say that they like to keep to their area and we can trust them not to wander off. Now we're going to add some more buildings to this view of the exhibit. And the challenge with this habitat build was trying to get the tortoises to climb all the way up so that they can get on top of our containers. As you probably know, Galapagos tortoises are not professional climbers, so they need plenty of ramp space, but we also don't want to show how they got up there. We want it to appear that they, jumped up there or however they got up there, but not by walking up a series of ramps. And then I thought it'd be fun for this little tunnel to have kind of a clear walkway that the guests can see one of the tortoises making their way up to the top. And here you can see I am making our ramp system just with these climbing pieces. Tortoises can apparently climb up them at certain angles. So yeah, we were able to hide pretty much all of that inside of these containers so that it's pretty much not visible, which is good. And now I remembered that we probably want to see them occasionally come out onto this yellow platform, so we're going to add a doorway for them to get up there. And of course, we're going to have to import our tortoises from somewhere, so we're going to head over to a very familiar place. And we are here in the Grizoo. If you have not checked that series out, go check that out. It's my first zoo that I ever built. And we're just going to steal some Galapagos tortoises from here. So we're going to take Mercedes. She has relatively good stats. Margarita, Juanita, Luis, and Eduardo. We're going to take all of those tortoises and add them to our Toad Town Zoo. Alright, and now we are going to add just a few ways for them to get across the exhibit. So there's a little tunnel in between there that they'll be able to walk around through. And now we're going to add all of our Galapagos tortoises just to see what area they can walk around in and what areas they can't. And here comes our first tortoise, Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Look at her. Beautiful tortoise. All right, let's see where she can navigate. Okay, so it looks like she can't come up here, so we're going to make that wider. And it looked like that was pretty much the only problem, is that they do need a wider climbing platform in order to actually get up on top. So there you can see she can get to the top. Now we're just going to add, I was hoping to get a bridge, but unfortunately the bridge did not work, was not wide enough. So we're just going to use another climbing log structure and double that up, and they can get all the way across. And now we're just going to use some elephant grass in a few key locations just so that they kind of stay within this pathway. And there you can see now they will be able to come out onto that lower pathway and just kind of hang out with the guests, but then eventually go to where pretty much where their food and their beds are. A lot of animals, kind of like cats, will do that. So if they get fed there, then they'll return there. So it's kind of the concept I was going with. Now we're just lining our fence pieces up. And we're moving our barrier to overlap the fence. And then we're going to steal these. I will have to change the name on the sign. I forgot to do that in this video, but we will change it to say Galapagos Tortoise. And now it's time for rock work, planting, and terrain. So we're just going to plop a few rocks in just to make it seem like it fits into the surrounding area. All right, and now we're adding our plants. I love the look of those big lily pads and these palm trees, just to kind of cover up the train. So once it'll disappear behind those and then come out by the waterfall for a really cool effect. And then just putting down some mossy rocks. to add a really colorful, lush kind of background for this waterfall area. And now we're going to go through and just kind of spruce up just some random areas to make it blend a little more seamlessly into its surroundings. And adding the enrichment, and of course we're going to have to add some stuff up top just to lure them up there. So we want to lure them over by the lake. We want to lure them up top here. So yeah, they have plenty of enrichment items that is going to lure them all around the exhibits and hopefully bring them to really cool vantage points as slow as they move. It might take years before they actually get there, but here they come walking through. It's a very fun exhibit, very fun build. I will say, if I had to critique myself, that the habitat is so big that the food usually goes rotten by the time they get to it, so take that in mind when building your Galapagos tortoise habitats. Luckily, there's food enrichment items on pretty much every side that they go to, so I don't think they'll starve to death. But they do move very slowly, which is unfortunate. I might, maybe I could solve that by actually moving a feeder over on this side as well. We'll have to play around with some ideas. And here you can see Mercedes going up to the top of the climbing structure. They can actually go up, which I was kind of shocked about. They look a little weird doing it, but yeah, they can do it. So if you want to get creative with your Galapagos tortoise habitats, go ahead. And we're just going to speed this up. Let's go check on some of our other tortoises to see how they're doing. Looks like they are having a great tropical beach vacation, which is wonderful for them. And the guests are also loving it. Here's Juanita cooling off in a sprinkler. Very nice to see. And now we're going to check back on Mercedes to make sure she made it. And it looks like she did. Moving very slowly, but you know, that's the exact look I was going for when I made this exhibit. Just like a 2D platformer And yeah, with that, I think I might call this build done. This is the exact shot I wanted. This was all I ever wanted. Is to see Mercedes walking on the top of these things. And here she comes down the ramp. Go, Mercedes, go.
Mercedes.
Wow. Truly magnificent. Absolutely incredible way to end this video on 5 minutes of Mercedes walking.
Mercedes.
There she goes, ladies and gentlemen. Mercedes, everyone. And with that, our build is complete. Thank you for liking and subscribing and joining me for this wonderful Mario-themed build that I am working on. Let me know what I should build next, what animal reminds you of something in Mario. That's always fun. Don't forget to comment something fun on this video, because I read pretty much all of them and take everything into consideration. Although if your idea sucks, I won't do it. I'm sorry, that was rude. Okay, bye. What else? Keep Mercedes in your hearts. She hasn't eaten in 5 years. Because she was on top of the building. And I will see everybody next time. We are almost done with the main portion of Toad Town Zoo. We will be getting into other themes very soon. Very, very soon. We do have to finish the train station, though, I will say. You can see it's a little empty right there. That might be the next episode.